I'll be the first to say this rant is sponsored by first world problems, and there are a ton of other glaring issues that must be addressed immediately. This isn't even in the top 5 worst things we have seen this past week. But with that being said, I use college football and video games as an escape from the reality of the world. And EA Sports, I love you. I appreciate you for bringing back the video game that brought joy to my childhood. But you had one job. You had one simple job. Get the rankings right. Actually put in some time and effort and research and due diligence to set the tone for what is supposed to be a video game we have waited a decade for. And step by step by step, you fumbled the bag, and it all culminated with the icing on top of your actual top 25 rankings. I don't even know where to begin. But real quickly, welcome on into SEC Unfiltered. It's Cole Thompson here. Make sure that you like the video, hit subscribe, and the ring notification down below. That way you don't miss a single episode, because we're talking about everything going on in the world of college football leading up to week 1 and well throughout the chaotic 2024 season. If you like this type of content, leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast listening system. Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify. If you hate this type of content, leave a 1-star review. Tell us where we can improve. Follow us on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at SEC Unfiltered. If you want to follow me on social media or my own YouTube channel, both at Mr. Cole Thompson. And to keep up with the #1 content surrounding your favorite team, make sure that you visit secunfiltered.com. This episode's brought to you by RHOBACK. Use promo code SECU for 20% off all joggers, polos, hoodies, and shorts. Promo code SECU at RHOBACK.com for 20% off. I don't have a problem with the beginning of the rankings. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. You can come up with whatever scenario you want. The top 5 are probably, at least in some capacity, worthy of being in the top 5. Number 1 is Georgia with a 95 overall ranking. Ohio State comes in at number 2 with a 93 overall ranking. 93 ranking for Oregon. 92 ranking for Alabama at 4. And 92 ranking for Texas at 5. Regardless, you can go ahead and argue with air if you want. Those feel right. Even though Alabama is losing Nick Saban, it feels right. I'll get into the other ones around it, but let's just start off with this. Where the actual hell is Mizzou in Tennessee? Did you watch college football last year? Did you watch a single down of plays that happened in Columbia, Missouri last year, where Brady Cook balled out in a brand new offense headlined by Kirby Moore, where the Cody Schrader effect was alive and well, where Luther Burden decided to come on back and not worry about NIL deals? He believed that he was in the right situation. They bring in Theo Wees, and he's a freaking stud as a quality number 2. The defense steps up really well, and they beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. I said all that. They were an 11-2 team last year. Well, you didn't lose Brady Cook this offseason. You didn't lose Theo Wees this offseason. You didn't lose Luther Burden this offseason. You lost some offensive linemen, but you replaced 2 of them with plug-and-play additions in Marcus Bryant, who is a stud, and also you throw in Caden Green that has the emergence to play anywhere in the trenches. You didn't lose Kirby Moore. You bring in Marcus Carroll, who last season was a top 10 running back by numbers. Yes, go look that up. I know Georgia State is a very hard place to find, but go look that up. The defense did replace Blake Baker with Corey Batoon, who I might just throw in was the coordinator for a top 20 unit at South Alabama in the Fun Belt last year, and they're not ranked. What in the actual hell did you even think of that? Their schedule is manageable. The offense isn't missing a beat. They replaced the production lost by those who are now departed for the NFL or elsewhere, and they feel like a roster that is going to compete for a national title. Maybe not an actual national title, but oh my God, everyone, including yours truly, is high on Mizzou being in the postseason. Everything is manageable for it to be there, and they're not top 25. But you know who is top 25? Colorado, who lost 8 games last year. 8 games, including 1 to Stanford. I must say that again. Stanford, which also had a brand new coach, but didn't have a high-profile quarterback, didn't have a superstar two-way player, didn't have a name like Deion Sanders attached to the project. They lost to them. But 1 is 18, and 1 is not ranked. Let's go a step further. Tennessee's not on this list either, and I have no idea what the hell is going on there. Nico Iamaleava, according to everyone that I have spoken to, and that means fans, that means people in the building, that means former players, believe that he is the second coming of Peyton Manning and T. Martin 2.0. They believe that Rocky Top will be rolling like it's 1998 and that there will be a lot more to celebrate than just a baseball championship. They upgraded their offensive line with Zalance Hurd, superstar player that just couldn't get on the field at LSU because they have some talent. They bring in a really good tight end in Holden Stays. They have two exceptional receivers returning in Brew McCoy and Squirrel White. They add in Mikey Matthews, who everyone, I don't know why we're sleeping on. He is going to be a stud in this offense led by Josh Heupel. Their defense has arguably the best player in college football in James Pierce, if not the best player, one of the best players. And they weren't ranked anywhere. They were not ranked anywhere. I'm going to say that again. They were not ranked in the top 10 when it came to Neyland Stadium atmosphere. They were not in the top 25 on offense. They were not in the top 25 on defense. Where the hell did you get off? Like, I'm sorry. Did you go visit Knoxville and Josh Heupel peeing your cereal and then they made a bunch of kids cry when they were at practice? Because then that would make some sense. You have a lot of hostility and animosity to them. But, hey, Texas A&M last year actually lost in Neyland Stadium. Yeah, they're number 14 on this list. Miami went 8-4 last year. I mean, my bad. No, they didn't. No, they should have gone 8-4. Oh wait, I forgot. They forgot to kneel, and they forgot what happened on the final play of the game. They went 7-6 last year. They're 13 on this list. Testing's not found. Make math up. Make math up. And here's where it gets really, really annoying. You even fumbled the bag when it came to your analogy of this. Here's how I know this, ladies and gentlemen, because Missouri's offense is ranked number 8 in the country, and Ole Miss's offense is ranked number 11. And then Ole Miss has a defense that's not ranked, and Missouri has a defense that's not ranked. And Ole Miss shows up at 15, and Missouri doesn't show up anywhere. So an offense that's higher than another offense, a defense and a defense that aren't ranked, and one team is ranked in the top 25, and the other one's nowhere to be found. Math ain't mathin'. Math ain't mathin'. What are we doing? And then you throw in other teams along the way, like an NC State, who I absolutely love, but I completely understand that there is a little bit of hype going around this program, and I'm starting to kind of get a little annoyed because I've been high on them before anyone else, and now they're going to say I joined the bandwagon. Kansas, Arizona, Oklahoma State, all of them have question marks. Jalen Daniels is not the exact same quarterback that we thought he was going to be because of injuries, and they just lost Andy Kotelnicki to Penn State. You also throw in Arizona. They lose Jed Fish to Washington. And yes, Noah Fifita and T-Mac are studs, but that doesn't mean that the rest of the roster is going to be as advertised. Oklahoma State has Alan Bowman as a starting quarterback, and we give a lot of credit to what is Boone Pickens Stadium and, of course, who Mike Gundy is. But again, if anything, they should be ranked higher. Iowa still doesn't have an offense. And then you don't even mention the two teams that last year showed you that there was growth. That's already one thing that I have a problem with. Let's go a step further. Clemson is 6. Clemson's 6. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Even as a Dabo supporter, even as somebody that believes Dabo Swinney is a good, qualified coach, and the hype surrounding him being fired is getting a little bit too big for even your britches. Guys, they haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver in the last, 3 years? You still need to see the progression of Cade Klubnik going into this offseason with still Garrett Riley. The defense is solid. I'm going to give you credit there, but so is the defense at Ole Miss, and you could have put them on the board. You have USC at number 19. USC couldn't stop a bug. Let me phrase that. Sorry. Let me go back. Reword it. USC couldn't stop cement in the middle of December, and yet still they're ranked ahead. Because what? They added Indy Anson Lynn? Oh, okay. Well, so what happens when Corey Batoon, who had just as qualified as a defense last year, goes to Columbia? Oh, I don't know. Math ain't mathin'. We don't, USC, popular team. Yeah, okay, cool. How about you also throw in the fact that LSU, who had one of the worst defenses last year, and this isn't me saying it, this is them saying it, Ranked number 8. How about Penn State without a legit number 1 receiver because the guy just left to go down to the plains of Auburn, is at number 9. Florida State, which lost everybody. They did bring in a lot of talent via the transfer portal, but still, it's got to be proven, is at number 12. Miami still has question marks. Wisconsin still has question marks. I think Virginia Tech is going to be good, but I'm not entirely sure. They're all ranked ahead. What are we doing? Oh, wait. I know what we're doing. I have it all under wraps and under control. We all know what you're doing. What this is you are going and targeting people who don't know college football, but they know big brands. The Deion tax is real. Just like the Nick Saban tax was working for college football when it came to recruits, when it came to the transfer portal, the Deion tax is real. You throw a celebrity that does a lot of Aflac commercials and is a pretty high-profile name, you got to get a little bit of extra credit. That's got to make sense. You throw in the fact that USC is a Big Ten brand and you want to make it even Stevens, even though that's not how college football works, you go ahead and throw that into the mix. You need to throw some ACC teams in there, which, by the way, even though Virginia Tech is really good, NC State has better odds to win, and they're ranked below them in the conference. So what are we saying there? There's no formality. There's no consistency. There's no communication. And there's a bunch of spewing crap that just says, hey, you're a big brand. You did this last year, so we're going to throw you on the list. Michigan's the damn defending national champions. They're not in the top 10. Like, can we all agree here that there is problems? And then we get to the big one. Ole Miss, which I have to focus in on because of the Rebel faithful. You have been so kind to us here. I think it's important that we at least bring it to your attention. They lose Quinshawn Judkins, and they literally grab every single running back that has ever existed in the transfer portal to make up for quality versus quantity. And by the way, Rashad Amos is now getting in screaming matches with Quinshawn Judkins on Twitter. And by the way, let's also add in, they bring in Juice Wells. They upgrade their offensive line. Jackson Dart is going into year 3 with this offense, and they're at 15. They beat Texas A&M the last 2 years. They would have easily drug Colorado to the finish line. Everything we know about this is true, and they're just there because of if you put them any lower, you knew you were going to get in trouble. Just say what the truth is. Do you know what the biggest problem is in life? We don't want to hear the answers. We don't like hearing negativity, and I completely understand that. You want to be positive, and you want to go ahead and draw in the eyeballs, but sometimes just giving an answer is better than staying silent. You ranked some teams higher than others because if you want the casuals to play the game. You rank some teams higher than others because you want to bring in a profit. But you didn't realize that us as a college football society, people that actually care, from borders across the world, in the SEC to the lands of the Big Ten, to the hearts of the Big 12, to the skies of the ACC, we would rally together to give you the double bird and say, what in the actual hell are you thinking? That's it. That's the only way that we can come together and make sense of this list. There's no shot that any of this has correlation, has juxtaposition, has a balance or a consistency and an ideology of why you came up with this. None of it works. None. And because of all of that added together, you brought us all into a kumbaya moment where we just said, fix the damn list. We're not asking for much. We love the video game. We're excited to have it back. But it says at the very bottom, subject to change. I said this yesterday. I don't want to have to keep saying it. You have 24 hours. Get your crap together. Put a list that actually correlates and does make sense, or understand that we are grabbing the pitchforks. We are lighting the candles. We are setting off the matches, and we are coming to headquarters. It's a game. There's a lot of other issues going on in the world, but we use this to escape the dark reality that is planet Earth. Please do something right. Fix your mistakes and do it before the video game releases, because at the end of the day, we all know that you don't care about anything other than just a profit. And I'm begging you, for Mizzou fans, for Tennessee fans, for your sanity, get it together. You're better than this, and we know that you are. And if you're not, just leave a statement saying, we're doing what's best for us. We don't really care what you think about these rankings. Let me know in the comment section down below. Where was I wrong? Where was I right? Am I being overdramatic? I know I'm a little bit, but I actually don't care at this point. Make sure that also you're following us on social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @SEC Unfiltered. You want to follow me on Twitter, call me out. You want to say I got a good take, bad take, leave me a comment at Mr. Cole Thompson. Make sure that if you like this type of content, leave a 5-star review on the podcast systems. Leave a 1-star review if you hate this type of content. And make sure to keep up with us every single day at SECUnfiltered.com.